Happy Thursday, everyone. And happy birthday, Stacy. I hope you enjoy your birthday. This is going to be a great time. It's going to be a little longer than your average kind of work set, but it's going to be nice and steady. And I hope you guys enjoy the steady state factor of this work set. Before we get to the work set, let's talk about what's to come. Plank knee to nose, 10 to 20 alternating reps. Dynamic triangle for 3 to 5 a side. Overhead good morning for 3 to 5. Single leg good morning with rotation for 3 to 5 a side, 2 to 3 rounds. We're going to move into the bottom here with a weighted calf raise of 30 seconds. Back scale to high knee of 20 seconds per side. Lateral ski jump for 20 seconds. Ankle pops and or skip or combo of skip and ankle pop, it's up to you. 10 to 30 seconds and a narrow squat for 5 to 7 and a slow tempo 3-3-3 to help stretch out the calves and the ankles a bit after all that jumping. 2 to 3 rounds, take that down, get yourself primed and ready for this work set. So this work set is an on the minute for 10 rounds. All right, so it's 30 minutes in total. It's a longer work set, but it's only meant to be kind of taken at a low to moderate intensity. We want to try and maintain a nice steady heart rate the entire time, not spiking it too much, but just keeping it steady, keeping it nice and smooth. So minute number 1, I'm going to do a wall run of 45 seconds, or I'll have a chunk of options for your cardio piece of choice on the bottom of the workout description. Once you're done that wall run of 45 seconds, you'll have 15 seconds to transition to minute number 2, which will be a skip. Or again, I'll have some other options on that work set for you guys to follow if you don't have access to the skipping rope or you can't skip in your house. 45 seconds of that, you'll have 15 seconds of transition. Minute number 3, you're going to do 30 seconds of lunges. So just nice and steady forward or back lunge. You're not trying to crush this 30 seconds, but you're just trying to move smoothly. And then you'll have 30 seconds again to recover a little bit, let yourself kind of calm down, move into your wall run and or transition into that wall run for round number 2. And you take that down for 10 rounds. So find a pace, find a rhythm, stick to it the entire time, and really focus on just maintaining a nice steady state pace all throughout the day today. Let's get you warmed up, let's get you ready for action. Alright you guys, let's get you warmed up. Let's get the feet under the hips. We'll take the arms up overhead. We're just going to get a gentle side bend. Nice little reach. Come back through, nice little reach. Come back up, we're going to forward fold. Take it all the way down to the floor, touch those toes. Walk up those shins, nice flat back. We're going to forward fold again with framing a foot. We'll step it back into that lizard. We're going to get those hips square. And we're just going to lower the back knee. We're going to press the hip. And come back to center. And then straighten and straighten the front leg. Plant the foot, lower, press the hip. Come back through, straighten and straighten. Planting the foot again, we're going to lower, press the hip. Come back, straighten and straighten. We'll plant the foot, step back into our down dog, setting those shoulders. So we're nice and supported. Let's just walk our heels back and forth a bit. Just trying to wake up our calves and our ankles a bit, feel our feet. So nothing too aggressive, but also not so much holding, but just kind of casually walking. We'll come back into our plank. We'll step that other side up. Nice and square in the hips. We're going to lower down and press the hip. Come back to that center position, straighten and straighten the leg. We're going to plant the foot. We're going to lower, press the hip, center, straighten and straighten. We'll plant the foot, lower, press the hip, straighten that hip, and straighten the leg. Back to center. We'll step back into our down dog again, setting those shoulders. Walk the heels gently out. Nice and easy. Come back into your plank. We're going to tiptoe those feet up. We're going to roll ourselves all the way up. Big stretch. We're going to take it over to one side. Take it to the other side. Yeah. And let's get ourselves ready to go. So if you'd like to do some more gentle warm-up, a little bit of lizard lunge rotation, a little bit more upper body stuff. We've had a busy week this week, so if there's anything that you need to touch on, please do so. Pause the video, take it down, come join me. We're going to continue with a little bit of core work and just getting our body ready to go. Just a generalized kind of warm-up set coming your way. So pause it, rock it, and come back and join me for our first phase of warm-up. Our first phase of warm-up is going to start with a plank knee to nose for 10 to 20 reps, alternating back and forth. So we're going to get set up in our plank position. So our hands are under our shoulders.
ourselves set up in this nice plank position. So my ribs pull in, my shoulders press up, and I get that nice strong plank position. I'm going to take that knee and squeeze it up to my nose as I round my shoulders a bit, and then extend. But as I maintain this position, my hips are going to stay low, and I'm going to bring that knee right up the center, rounding out the shoulders and bringing that knee right up through the bottom. So we're not trying to go into a down dog. We're trying to stay level in that plank and bring the knee to the nose or as close as we can. Don't worry if you can't touch it. It's all good. We're just really focusing on that compression through the midsection to get that nice connection or that close connection going. Alternating those reps, take your time if you need to come out of it. If you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go for 12 to 15 or 16, whatever it happens to be, give yourself a few chances to maybe some cat-cow curls in between. Reset the position in your planks so we can maintain that good structure the entire time. After we're done our plank to knee to nose, we're gonna move into our sumo stance for a couple reps, and we're gonna move into that dynamic triangle. So we're gonna open up that body, opening up that upper body and our hips as well after all that compression. So we're gonna press up to the sky, hand is gonna be the thigh, we're gonna pull the hip back into that heel, keeping the arm active overhead, and just taking it as deep as you feel comfortable. Then pressing it straight up. And again, working on that pull. So we're pulling the hip back as we slide down the shin. And then we're gonna come back up, keeping it overhead. If you'd like to load that dynamic triangle a little bit, you're more than welcome, but just keep the weight light just to give you some sensation of where that arm is in space and time. It's a great strengthener as well, especially for movements like Turkish get-ups, all that kind of stuff. It's a really good kind of awareness tool to find that good overhead position. From our dynamic triangle, once we've done 3 to 5 per side, we're gonna stay in our sumo stance and we're gonna work on an overhead good morning. So I'm gonna turn profile so you guys can see. My stance is still sumo. I'm gonna set my ribs and my glutes, so I'm nice and stable, and I'm gonna hinge at that hip crease. But first things first, I'm gonna take my hands into that overhead position. So still maintaining that good rib position, that good set core position, I'm going to pull those hips back, keeping that body strong and keeping those arms in that nice overhead position. It can be extremely challenging sometimes maintaining that overhead position as we work that hinge. So if you find that you can make it all the way to that 90-degree without your arms overhead, but as soon as you take those arms up, you're like, only like 45. That's okay, nothing wrong with that. Work and focus on the overhead position. Over time, it'll open up as we work to that edge. So don't let that overhead position be sacrificed for depth. Make sure we're focusing on bringing both together at once. After that, we're gonna move into a single leg good morning with rotation. So my feet are gonna come in to about a hip width stance. I'm gonna take one foot out in front so the heel is in front of the toe. And I'm gonna keep my knees apart so they're not gonna collapse inwards. My knuckles are gonna come together. They don't necessarily have to, but I like to kind of join my fists together for this one. I'm gonna set my ribs and glutes. I'm gonna pull back into that good hinge, really focusing on engagement through the glutes and the back portion of the body, and then rotate my front, or my elbow to my front knee, and then stand tall. And again, don't worry if you can't touch it. We're just worrying about that good pull, like our good morning, and then that gentle rotation to wherever you can maintain good position and the good sensation through your hamstring. So again, bringing this a little bit more focused into the hamstring. If you're feeling it down here, we want to think about a little bit more glute engagement off in the original initiation of the movement. So we want to make sure, just a little reminder for ourselves, squeeze, set, and hinge. We don't want to move through these too quickly because we do want to make sure that we are getting that glute engagement before every rep, so we get the sensation up in that hamstring to lower glute. Quick little recap with that. We have a plank knee to nose for 10 to 20 alternating reps. Dynamic triangle, 3 to 5 aside. Overhead good morning, unloaded, 3 to 5, working on that overhead position. Single leg good morning with rotation, again taking those slow, 3 to 5 per side, remembering to engage before every rep. 2 to 3 rounds. Rock that warm up, take it down, get a good feel of how the body's going today, and then come along with me. We're going to start getting a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more bouncy. So pause the video, rock that first piece, and then come with me for our next phase of warm up. All right,
So our next phase of warm-up is going to kickstart off with some calf raises. And I'm just going to show you the calf raise without any weight, and then if you'd like to load it, you can. My feet are going to be kind of under my hips, and my toes are pointing straight ahead. And I really want to focus on trying to stay balanced from the big toe to the pinky toe. So we're not rolling out onto the outside edge of the foot. We're staying nice and square. And that can be harder than you think. So really focus on your height, dependent on where you feel your balance in your foot. So I'm going to set up, I'm going to get my hands down to the side for balance purposes. I can hold them wherever I need them to be if I'm doing them unloaded. I'm going to squeeze and set my ribs and hips, and I'm going to press into the toes coming up, and then I'm going to control back down. I'm just going to work this for control for balance with a little pause at the top, and work on that good control down, strengthening the foot and the ankle. Now, if I'd like to load this, you're more than welcome to. You can load it to the front by holding a dumbbell by both bells, setting the shoulders and staying tall, and working through that same calf raise. Or you can hold it in the suitcase or double dumbbells in the farmers as we work on that nice calf raise. We want to make sure, though, that we are focusing our attention not on the load, so don't go going super heavy, especially if we start rolling out to the outside. We want to make sure that we're square in our feet, and we're making sure that's our primary focus. After that, we're going to start waking up the feet a little bit more dynamically. We're going to start by back scale to high knee, so working on kind of bringing the body together in this hinge to high knee position. So I'm going to turn profile again so you guys can see. I'm going to get myself based on my left foot. My right leg is going to go back so I can feel that engagement, and I'm setting my hips nice and square to the front. Hands can go where they need to be. If you'd like to, you can kind of reach forward with this arm a little bit for later on, just to get that counterbalance a little bit if you like. The hip is square to the floor, and then as we come through, we're going to come up with that other hand and that knee to that high knee position for balance. Touching down, coming back through, setting up, and then again, working through that nice hinge, keeping the hips square, coming through and up into that nice high knee for balance. Now with that movement, I want you to really make sure that you're only going as far down as you feel comfortable and balanced, and that the hips remain square, and that we're not rotating open to the side. We want to keep the hips square to the front the entire time we do this. So ease in, take your time, work your range so you can maintain position first. From there, we're going to work on some lateral movement, some lateral ski jumps. So taking the time, kind of have some fun with this one. We can pause on either side. We're going to load our leg. We're going to load the arms. We're going to swing and kind of spring into action. So we swing and jump. Swing and jump, giving myself a little pause per side. The length of the pause is up to you. I want you to make sure that you're controlling that lateral energy and then bringing it back the other way. And also pairing the upper body and the lower body together for good movement. Now with this, we can also do a non-jumping option. If you're like, I don't jump, Dave, it's okay, but I don't jump. That's fine. We can do this with the same mechanics. We get the swing, we step and come through. So we're still controlling the lateral energy in that lateral kind of step. The other foot's not coming off the ground until the other one is firmly planted, and we still get to work on controlling that lateral energy. You have 20 seconds of both of those pieces, so back scale to high knee, you have 20 seconds per side, so you don't have to feel rushed in terms of getting tons of reps. Just work for skill for that time frame. Same with the lateral ski jump. You have 20 seconds of just nice back and forth. That gets the heart rate up really well in 20 seconds, but take your time and focus on position. After that, we have our ankle pop and our skip, or a combination of both or one or the other. Depends on what you got at home. But the ankle pop can also be substituted for more calf raises if you'd like. So if you're not a jumper and you'd like to spend more time warming up and waking up your legs, you could always do a weighted calf raise and then an unweighted calf raise. That's a little bit more dynamic, so not as much tempo, so you can work on a little bit more pressure and press, but we want to make sure we're still focusing on that square foot. Now with the ankle pop, if we're going to work on that skip position, I'm going to get my elbows in, my palms up, relaxing my hands just like I'd be if I was skipping. I'm going to relax my shoulders, even though they're setting down. I'm not holding tension up here. I am going to maintain a little bit of tension through my ribs and my glutes, but also let my knees and my ankles do what they do naturally, and that's rebound, absorb and give back energy. So I'm not trying to control that position too hard, except for here and here. From there, we can also work on a timing drill in our double unders. So if we're working on that, we can work on those power jumps. So maybe every third or fifth jump, we work on a power jump. And with the power jump, as soon as you leave the ground, we're flicking the wrist. Because that's when we have to, that symbolizes that moment we have to get that rope moving for the double under. So it can be a really handy timing tool. So if I'm going, I get my little jumps, power jumps, and I get my little wrist flick. Power jumps, and I just work on that little jump, but you notice the positioning and the jump stays the same. It doesn't change just because I'm trying to do that power jump. I'm not piking or lifting my leg, I'm not throwing my leg out to the side, tucking, I'm staying long and in that kind of semi-hollow position. After that, we have a little narrow squat work just to open up the calves, ankles, and our knees. So I can turn profile for you guys just for a moment. Your narrow squat stance, again, it changes day to day, and it can be anything inside your regular squat stance. So finding the stance for you today, we're gonna get set, weight through the midfoot, glutes are set, ribs are set. We're gonna take the hips to where we feel comfortable and where we can maintain that range. It's gonna take us 3 seconds to get down there. Hold for 3, stand for 3. And we're just using this as a little mobility exercise, as a chance to stretch out the calves and the ankles from all the jumping we just did. So take your time with that. You got 5 to 7 reps at a nice slow 3-3-3 tempo. As a quick recap, we have a weighted calf raise of 30 seconds or unweighted. Back scale to high knee, 20 seconds per side. Lateral ski jump for 20 seconds. Ankle pop or skip or combo, 10 to 30 seconds. And a narrow squat for 5 to 7 at a 3-3-3 tempo. 2 to 3 rounds there, take it down, have some fun with it, get your body ready to go, and then we're gonna tackle this nice, big, long, steady state work set. Now, the work set, what we have for you guys, we talked earlier about the wall run. The wall run is that lovely, lovely movement up against the wall. You can take it hard, slow, steady, whatever you want. You got 45 seconds. I prefer you to keep it to a moderate to low intensity kind of jog pace, working on some mechanics. I'll also have some other options on the bottom of the workout description for you for your cardio of choice. The skip, same idea. We can impart the ankle pop, some more other little jumping, which I'll have in the workout description. But now we finally come to the lunge. We haven't talked about the lunge yet today so far. So in terms of the lunge in this workout, we're just looking at 30 seconds of just steady lunging. So you can choose to go forward, you can choose to go back, whatever's gonna give you the best movement possible. These are unloaded today, and I just want you to move well. So I'm gonna turn profile for you guys to get this going. With that lunge, we're gonna work on stepping back first. So I'm gonna work on a back lunge. I set my glutes and ribs, so I'm nice and engaged. And I'm gonna step back, keeping that knee over top of the heel. My back knee is under the hip, and I'm trying to stay as vertical as I can. I'm also trying to stay relatively wide-ish with my feet. So I'm trying to stay roughly hip to squat stance, so my feet aren't too narrow and I don't end up lunging on a tightrope. We don't want that because then we're very tippy. We want to make sure that when we're doing our lunge that we stay in this nice stance or slightly wider, whatever's comfortable for you. Now with that back lunge, it's very easy to lay on that front thigh. We want to try and stay as upright as we can in both the back and the front. Now with the front, right, it's a little harder to control that forward momentum. So we're standing tall, I step, I lower, I stand tall. So we want to make sure that when we step and land that foot down, that forward momentum ends and I lower down from that nice tall position. So take your time, you're going to work on 30 seconds, just alternating back and forth, working on that nice smooth skill. Now if lunging is very challenging for you, again I'll have some other options for you in the bottom. You can also work that lunging drill that we like to play with, so that standing lunge. You'll step back and step forward, so you're getting set up in that nice 50-50 weighted position, nice balance. The back heel is off the floor, I'm nice and tall in this position, hips are square, and I'm gonna work on lowering straight down into that good lunge position and straight up. And what I can do here for this timing
is I can do 15 to 20 seconds per side, working on that lunge skill, where maybe the dynamic factor of the lunge is an issue in terms of finding your footwork. This, you've already found your footwork, and you're just working on that movement portion of the control to lower. So you can play with that if you like, 15 to 20 seconds per side. That still gives you a solid 20 to 15 seconds of recovery and transition into the top of the round. So quick recap again, we have an on the minute for 10 rounds. That's 30 minutes total. Minute number 1, 45 seconds of wall run or another option. Minute number 2, 45 seconds of skipping singles or one of the other options I have on the bottom. And minute number 3, 30 seconds of lunging or 15 to 20 seconds per side of that standing lunge drill. Keep this nice and steady, you guys. I hope you enjoy this on this Thursday. You guys are rocking these workouts. I love it. I love hearing your feedback on these as well and the support you give everyone else. It's great. It's fantastic. So as always, you guys, work for quality, have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more good, fun programming. Bye, you guys.